Finding joy in the little things as you age. As we grow older, life begins to slow down. Not in a sad way, but in a soft, thoughtful way. We begin to notice things we once overlooked. The sunlight warming the kitchen table, the sound of the wind through the trees, the way our grandchild's laughter echoes like music through the hallways of our heart. In our younger years, we chased big dreams, big milestones, and big moments. But now, we understand something that only time can teach. That joy doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes, it comes in a quiet cup of tea, the feel of a soft blanket on a rainy afternoon, or the smile of someone who truly knows you. This video is a gentle invitation to pause, to breathe, and to open your eyes to the simple beauty all around you. Because even in aging, there is wonder. Even in routine, there is magic. And even in the smallest things, joy lives. So today, let's take this walk together. Let's rediscover the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. And maybe, just maybe, we'll remember what happiness has always been about. Slowing down and noticing life. There's something beautiful about a life that's no longer rushed. In our younger days, everything was a race. Rushing to work, getting dinner on the table, raising kids, meeting deadlines, juggling responsibilities. Life moved so fast, it felt like we barely had time to breathe, let alone notice. But now, something has changed. We find ourselves with time, real time. The kind you can hold gently in your hands like a warm cup of coffee in the morning. And with that time comes a gift, the ability to notice. To notice the way the sun filters through the curtains at dawn, the way birds sing with no urgency at all, the quiet stillness of a Sunday morning with no plans, the feel of fresh sheets on the bed, the sound of your own breath in a peaceful room. These are the moments that once slipped past us. Too quiet, too simple to compete with the noise of our busy lives. But now, they're not background noise. Now, they're the main event. We begin to understand that slowing down isn't about stopping. It's about being present. Being here, in this moment, without guilt, without pressure, without needing to be somewhere else. Have you ever sat by a window and just watched the world outside? No phone, no agenda, just you, the breeze, and maybe a cup of tea. There's a kind of peace in that, a kind of joy that doesn't need to be loud or big to matter. Maybe it's noticing the way your pet curls up at your feet. Maybe it's savoring the first bite of your favorite meal. Maybe it's standing in your garden, hands in the dirt, feeling alive in the simplest way. And what a blessing it is to not be in a rush, to give yourself permission to move slower, to listen longer, to see more deeply. You might even start to realize that joy has always been there. It was just waiting for you to slow down long enough to see it. And yes, some days are quiet. Some days feel a little too quiet. But even in that stillness, there can be comfort. In that space, you can reconnect with your thoughts, your memories, and the world around you. This is the part of life where we shift from doing to being, from achieving to appreciating, from chasing to cherishing. And what we find in this slower rhythm is not boredom, but richness, a deeper understanding of what really matters, a rediscovery of life's simplest, purest joys. So if today feels quiet, don't fill it with noise. Fill it with presence. Fill it with gratitude. Fill it with little things that remind you that you are still very much alive. Because sometimes, the most extraordinary moments come wrapped in ordinary days. Finding beauty in the everyday. There's a certain kind of magic in the everyday. But the truth is, we rarely saw it before. We were too busy getting through the day to really be in the day. But now Now we have the chance to look again, and this time with softer eyes. You don't need to travel the world or chase excitement to find beauty. Sometimes it's right in front of you, tucked into the corners of your daily life. It's in the steam rising from your morning coffee, curling and dancing in the sunlight. It's in the creak of the floorboards that have carried you for years. It's in the wrinkles in your hands, each one telling a quiet, powerful story. It's in the rhythm of your daily walk, the way the light hits the trees, the smile from the neighbor you've said hello to 100 times. These things might seem small, ordinary, but that's what makes them so beautiful. Because now you can see them not just with your eyes, but with your heart. You begin to realize that life doesn't have to be dazzling to be meaningful. It just has to be noticed. A slice of warm pie shared with a friend, fresh sheets on laundry day, hearing a familiar old song that brings back a flood of memories, the sound of laughter in the next room. Everyday things, little things. But when you stop and really take them in, they become everything. And the beauty? It doesn't come from perfection. It comes from presence. From showing up to the moment just as it is, messy, simple, real. Some days might feel slow, some might feel repetitive. But even then, there's wonder to be found. Look at how the light changes on your front porch from morning to evening. Notice the patterns of the birds at your feeder. Feel the warmth of water on your hands as you do the dishes. None of these things are fancy, but they're yours. They are the rhythm of a life well lived, the daily poetry of being alive. And when you find beauty in the everyday, something inside of you shifts. You start to carry a quiet kind of joy. You start to feel connected to yourself, to the world, to something bigger. And most of all, you begin to trust that this, right here, is enough. You don't need to go back in time. You don't need to race ahead. There's beauty where you are, right now, today. So take a deep breath, look around. Let the ordinary things reveal just how extraordinary they've always been. Moments that make the heart smile. You know the kind of moments I'm talking about. The little ones, sometimes unexpected, that just warm your heart. Not the big celebrations, not the grand occasions, but the small, quiet flashes of happiness that sneak up on you and stay with you long after. Maybe it's the sound of your grandchild's laughter echoing through the house, or the way your dog greets you at the door like you've been gone for years, even if it was just 5 minutes. Maybe it's that first sip of coffee in the morning when everything is still quiet, or the moment your favorite song comes on the radio while you're driving, and you can't help but sing along, off-key and smiling. These moments don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be planned. They just happen. And when they do, they light something up inside you. Sometimes it's a walk in the park, when the breeze feels just right and the flowers are in bloom. Or when you share an old story with a friend, and both of you end up laughing like kids again. Maybe it's the kindness of a stranger who held the door open, or the handwritten letter that arrived in the mail, reminding you that someone was thinking of you. These are the moments that make the heart smile. They remind you that life doesn't have to be loud to be full, that happiness isn't found in a distant dream. It's right here, woven into your day. At 60 and beyond, we begin to understand this more clearly than ever. We learn to slow down enough to feel these moments, to be present for them, to let them touch us deeply, even if they pass quickly. You see, joy isn't always a fireworks show. Sometimes it's just a quiet flicker, a candle glowing softly in a still room. And those flickers, they matter. Because when you start noticing them, collecting them, your life begins to feel rich. Not rich in things, but rich in meaning, rich in memories, rich in heart. So let yourself lean into these moments. Laugh a little louder. Hold a hug a little longer. Say thank you more often. And smile, truly smile, when something beautiful crosses your path. Because these are the moments that fill the chapters of your story, and they deserve to be cherished. After all, it's not just the big milestones that shape us. It's the small, golden moments that make life feel like life. Let them in, let them stay, and let your heart smile as often as it wants to. Rediscovering yourself through joy. You've lived 6 incredible decades. You've been a parent, a partner, a worker, a neighbor, a friend. You've shown up for so many people in so many ways. But now, just now, it might be time to show up for yourself. Because here's a beautiful truth we don't hear often enough. Joy is not just something we feel, it's something that leads us back to who we truly are. You see, when we're younger, life is full of roles and responsibilities. We put ourselves last on the list. We chase schedules, we meet deadlines, we take care of everyone else first. But as we age, something remarkable happens. The noise quiets, the pace softens, and in the stillness, a question rises. What makes me come alive? Maybe it's painting, even if the last time you held a brush was in grade school. Maybe it's gardening, or playing the piano, or learning how to cook something completely new. Maybe it's just waking up and realizing you don't have to be busy to be worthy. You get to rediscover your passions. You get to explore who you are now, not who you were or who you were expected to be. Joy becomes your guide. And here's the best part. It doesn't need to be big to be powerful. It could be the joy of walking barefoot in the grass, the joy of singing in the shower without a care in the world, the joy of saying yes to yourself, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. Rediscovery doesn't mean changing who you are. It means returning to who you've always been, under all the layers. The artist, the dancer, the dreamer, the person who always wanted to write a book, take a road trip, or learn how to play chess. Now is your time. And it's not too late. It's exactly the right moment. Because at 60, you've earned the freedom to explore without pressure, to try things without worrying about being perfect, to follow curiosity like you once did when you were young, with wide eyes and an open heart. This chapter of your life isn't about slowing down. It's about tuning in, listening to the quiet voice inside that says, "This brings me joy. This feels like me." And when you find those things, those pieces of yourself you may have tucked away long ago, you'll feel something powerful stir inside. Not just happiness, not just fun, but a deep sense of homecoming. Because rediscovering yourself through joy, that's how we begin to live fully, not just longer. So go on. Say yes to joy. Follow it like a compass, and don't be surprised when it leads you right back to you. The gentle power of gratitude. There's a quiet strength in gratitude. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. But it changes everything. At 60 and beyond, we begin to see life differently. We've lived through joys and heartbreaks, victories and losses. We've said hello to new beginnings and goodbye to people and chapters we loved. We carry memories like photographs in an old leather album, some faded, some still vivid, all of them meaningful. And somewhere along the way we realize life isn't perfect, but it's beautiful in all its messiness and magic. That's where gratitude comes in, not the kind we force or fake, but the kind that flows naturally when we slow down and notice. Gratitude for the warm sun on your shoulders during a morning walk. Gratitude for the smell of coffee drifting through the kitchen. Gratitude for the old friend who still remembers your laugh. For the grandchild who runs into your arms like you're their whole world. For the sound of birds outside your window. Tiny moments, simple things. But when we pause to appreciate them, they become treasures. Gratitude teaches us to live in the now, to stop looking so hard for what's missing, and start celebrating what's already here. And here's the amazing part. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a practice. And when you practice it, even in the smallest ways, it transforms your mindset, your relationships, even your health. You begin to notice that the wrinkles around your eyes aren't flaws. They're the roadmap of your laughter. The softness in your voice isn't weakness, it's wisdom. The slower pace isn't a limitation, it's a gift, a chance to savor life instead of rushing through it. Gratitude gives you the courage to let go of comparison. You stop measuring your worth by what you used to do and start embracing who you are today. You stop wishing to be younger and start thanking the years for what they've taught you. You stop fearing what lies ahead and start trusting that each day still holds something wonderful. And let's be honest, it's easy to get caught up in the hard stuff, to dwell on what hurts or what's no longer the same. But gratitude whispers, look again. There's beauty here too. And she's right. There's beauty in the morning stretch that reminds you you're alive. In the handwritten letter from an old friend. In the way your favorite song still brings tears to your eyes. Gratitude doesn't erase pain or fix everything, but it softens the edges. It makes the good moments brighter and the tough moments easier to bear. It reminds us that even on the hardest days, there is still something to hold on to, still something to say thank you for. So today, take a breath, look around, find one thing, just one, that makes your heart feel full. Then say it, out loud or in silence. Thank you. Because the more we say it, the more we see it. And the more we see it, the richer life becomes. This is the gentle power of gratitude, and it's yours to carry every day for the rest of your beautiful journey. A life well lived, one moment at a time. What does it mean to live a life well lived? Is it about achievements, success, wealth, recognition? In our younger years, maybe that's what we're taught. We chase goals, we push, we strive, we fill our calendars, we check the boxes. But somewhere along the way, usually not all at once, but slowly, we realize that the richest parts of life are not the ones we rushed toward. They're the ones we paused for. A laugh shared over coffee, the stillness of early morning light, a quiet hand held during a storm, the simple joy of hearing, "I love you," from someone who truly means it. We begin to see that a well-lived life is not built on grand moments, but on countless small ones. And here, in the season of 60 and beyond, we finally have the gift of seeing them clearly. There's a beauty in this stage of life that can't be rushed. It comes from the wisdom earned through time, from the scars that taught us strength, from the regrets that taught us grace, from the love that taught us how to open our hearts wider. You don't need to climb mountains now. You are the mountain. Steady, grounded, full of stories written in every wrinkle and silver strand. Every moment you've lived has brought you here. Not one has been wasted, not even the hard ones. They shaped you. They softened you in the right places. They made you real. You may no longer be chasing the future, but you're savoring the present. And that's a kind of living so many people never reach. To sit with yourself and feel content. To enjoy your own company in silence. To know what truly matters and what doesn't. To laugh without worrying who's watching. To cry without apologizing. To forgive more easily, including yourself. That's not just living, that's living well. It's waking up and choosing peace over perfection, choosing presence over performance, choosing meaning over more. A life well lived doesn't mean a life without mistakes. It means a life where love was given freely, where kindness was offered, even when it wasn't returned, where you showed up day after day, even when life felt heavy. It's the quiet bravery of just being you. Maybe you didn't change the world, but you made someone's world better. A child, a friend, a partner, a stranger. Maybe you smiled at the right time, listened when it mattered, held a hand when someone needed to know they weren't alone. That's legacy. That's enough. And now, as you look back, don't measure your life in the years or the miles, but in the moments that took your breath away, the moments that brought you to your knees in gratitude, the moments that reminded you, this is what it means to be alive. So take this chapter, this beautiful chapter of aging with grace, and fill it with as many of those moments as you can. Because no matter how long we have, life is always lived, one precious moment at a time. Closing. Choosing joy, choosing grace. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to leave you with something simple, but powerful. You get to choose. You may not be able to change the past. You may not control everything the future holds. But today, right now, you can choose how you show up for your life. You can choose joy. Not because everything is perfect, but because your heart still beats with wonder. You can choose grace for yourself, for others, even for the chapters that didn't go as planned. You can choose to wake up each morning and welcome the light through your window as an invitation, not to do more, but to be more present, to laugh, even if your knees ache, to dance, even if it's just in your kitchen, to call someone you love, just to say hello, to savor your coffee slowly, to look up at the sky and whisper, "Thank you," just because you're still here. Because this moment, this breath, is a gift, and you've earned it. With every joy and heartbreak, every step forward and every fall, you've lived, you've felt, and that makes you one of the bravest souls on this earth. So when the world tries to tell you that your best years are behind you, smile gently and let them see the light in your eyes. The kind of light that only comes from a life lived with love and intention. You are not fading, you are glowing. And in this beautiful season of life, where everything moves a little slower, you begin to realize that slowing down doesn't mean giving up. It means you're finally seeing clearly, noticing the details, living with purpose. So go ahead and choose joy, choose grace, choose this moment, again and again. Because this chapter isn't the end. It's a quiet celebration of everything you've become. And trust me, the best parts are still being written, one gentle, beautiful day at a time. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your heart stay open. May your spirit stay light. And may you always remember, you are aging not just with grace, but with greatness.